honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
All right, guys, welcome to the Balls Deep podcast. I am your host, Kyle Balls. Today in the studio, got my right-hand man, Wayne. We got to get him a last name that's a cool stage name besides just, maybe he could just be the Wayne, but, you know, Wayne's here. And then the very beautiful Krystal Davis is joining us today.
Hello, hello.
We're going to talk porn and stuff because, well, that's what you guys want to hear. I mean, we could talk, food. I could talk that all day, but I think you guys are tuning in for that. So, Krystal, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Living the dream. Working hard.
I see that.
Living the dream.
I see
Living the
that.
dream.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Podcasting on my poker table. So, anyways, Krystal's here.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi. I am here. I've been here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's a couple days now. It's been fun. We had
Been
sex.
around the house.
It was great.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Yes.
tell us about yourself. How are you? What are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just traveling quite a bit lately. I gotta work.
Yeah.
Tough life, having sex all the time. So
How do you do it?
can't complain.
Yeah.
Right?
Or can you? I mean,
Well,
there's got
not
to be
really.
a downside sometimes. I mean,
Lack of sleep.
Like
Body aches maybe. Not that particularly, but the rest of my body. So
yeah.
pussy's fine. So I don't know.
Well, there we go.
Can't complain.
Worried about that for a second.
Right.
At least yours is better than me. I get the typical thing I get all the time. It's like, dude, I can't wait. I want to be like you one day. To which I always say, like, tired, overweight, depressed. It's like, I believe in you, dude. You can do it.
you can do it.
Yeah. Work hard at it. You'll get there.
Just buy my 3-step program.
I think they meant which holes is it going to be this week or tomorrow or the following day.
Like, you got all those hot bitches over at your house, Kyle. And I'm like, well, Wayne just walked by after cooking his lunch while I'm on the couch. If that's what you mean, because that's about it.
That actually reminds me, I was editing one of your porns the other day, and in the reflection of what is it, one of the pictures or something,
Yeah.
you can see the pool guy in the backyard. He's got his thing as he goes by in the scene. It's great.
At least he's pretty cool. He knows what goes on. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's gotten the text before, like, I'm working, I can't come out. And he's like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, that was probably then.
Sometimes I think he lingers. So,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Trying to see what's going to come out.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. Traveling porn star.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
It's
I
a
knew
thing.
about traveling strippers, but
the traveling is a little tiring. But once you get to location, it's like boom, 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 sex, and then I'm good.
Now, I am a gentleman. I like to be as much as possible, especially when these models are my friends. And, I build a friendship with all of them. So I always want to be as cool as I can. She pulled up to the house the other day when she got here, and it was so fucking hot. Like this, it was hot. Of course, it's hot in Florida, but the sun was just kicking.
Yeah.
Like you walk outside and you start cooking. And I walked out, took 2 steps out the door, and she was getting out of the car. She's like, I'm here. And I'm like, hi. And I just stood there, and she's like, yeah, I got a lot of fucking bags. Come help me. And I was like, oh, God damn it. I was totally trying to get out of actually having to go down to the curb because it was like kind of walk across the lawn, and it's so sunny. And of course, they're like 2 like Victorian age trunk size things. And I'm like, I can do this. Guys, carry.
that's surprising because I didn't even know she was here. Like when I came out, I was like, Krystal here yet? She's right there in the backyard. I'm staring. You're staring at her.
I'm a dick too because he's like, it's Krystal. I'm like, yeah, she's the hot Asian chick
Right,
standing in the backyard.
Right. Present.
Yeah, she's
That's
that
the
one.
only
Yeah, the
only
person.
anything
The only
in the
person in the
backyard.
backyard. But yeah, the hot Asian one, that one's her.
I travel very heavy.
Gotta have everything you need. I got you.
Yeah, I actually had to take out 10 pounds out of each bag. And I'm like, which one do I take, the dicks or the shoes? I opted taking out the shoes because I need the dicks with me. So my
Yeah,
toys.
nobody gives a fuck about shoes.
Right. I can
Yeah.
wear the same shoes every night.
Yeah.
But I've got to have my dicks with me.
Yeah, you're not showing up to a set and be like, those are your only shoes.
Yeah. I will say, as a producer, I do appreciate that when a girl pulls up, especially she's gonna be staying there for a day or two. It's always nerve wracking when you either pick the girl up at the airport or she pulls up in the Uber or whatever, and she gets out with a backpack, and it's like, we need like 7 outfits, right? And I get being a minimalist, but
They're like,
yeah.
Well, it
And
doesn't.
those are always the ones like I never actually say anything to them in person, but those are always the ones like I'm always fucked. Like, okay, we need this type of outfit. I don't have that. We've only shot together like 10 times before, but yeah, it's always nerve wracking. So when the girl shows up with 2 suitcases, I'm like, all right, we're covered. We got it.
yeah, oh yeah.
Are we
yeah.
sure if we're covered? I
Yeah.
don't know. Sometimes I forget things, and because when I plan my outfits, I have to have, of course, the underwear and things like that, the outerwear, the shoes, the accessories, everything that goes with it. So.
Yeah. So by the time this one drops, it might have been a while since your birthday, but
Yes.
I wanted to apologize for missing your birthday.
I don't know. I haven't forgiven you for that yet.
I didn't even want to tell Wayne about it because I am Wayne's biggest letdown since we started working on this together. There's so many,
I'm so sorry,
so many
Wayne.
fun things we get invited to that people will hit me up. And of course,
I
if you're
see what
inviting
you're
me,
saying.
Wayne's coming.
Yeah.
He's filming.
I
And-
blame him.
yeah, and oftentimes like you're like, are you gonna come? I'm like, no. If they knew that the key was to like get to Wayne as well, to have him hit me from one side on the fester and then have the
okay.
girls hit me from the other side, we go do a lot more fun shit. But if they just asked me, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go. But yours, I felt bad for because I would have loved to have been there. It sounded like it was.
Feel bad.
It sounded like a Kyle Balls party, to be honest with you. It sounded pretty epic.
It was, and I was watching the whole night, just people fucking everywhere, and I couldn't even partake in most of it because I was tied up.
We're so not getting
Majority
our
of
deposit
the
back. That's what she's like. So not getting our deposit. How'd they get it on the ceiling? No.
Oh God.
It was awesome.
Did you say you end up going with security for that one too?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to with these parties.
right. It's just, I don't know. I expected the worst, and it did happen. The
Oh,
worst
okay,
happened.
cool.
So.
No, ours were never that bad. Ours were never that bad. But
Really?
Well, you'd have some.
If I recall your parties, I don't know.
well, by definition of the worst. That's what I was saying. I was like, this could have been a lot worse.
Okay. I mean,
There's
that's
always gonna be
the
a
one
worst,
that with
so.
the guy went rogue, shows up with the truck all messed up.
Oh God, yeah. You
I
can.
remember
The
that.
neighbors coming over to tell you
Yeah.
about the guy's car. I'm like, this guy's car is fucked up.
For anybody
He
who's watching
stumbled
this or whatever, we had a party a couple years ago in Vegas, and this guy comes in the door, and my security was at the door actually, but he wasn't like we didn't have a guest list or anything. It was kind of my house was ready for a party. I didn't have any valuables around, so I was like, anybody, if you're industry, come. And for the most part, industry people don't want to embarrass themselves. So anybody who was bringing someone, everybody check with me first. And the rule always was, as many women as possible. They can come and hang out and just network. They can come and shoot. It generally had to let everybody know, like, hey, if you don't want to shoot, that's fine. But there's probably people fucking next to you, so don't make it weird.
Yeah.
When it came to guys, male talent in the industry, I didn't mind, or producers, I didn't mind. Any boyfriends or husbands, I would always kind of tell the girls, like, that's your problem.
Yeah.
You deal with them. Anyways, this one guy who is, I don't even think he's in the industry anymore, and I wouldn't say his name even if he wasn't in the industry anymore.
I
But
think something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he was brand new, and he had done one shoot with someone, and that was how he had a connection to me and asked if I could come. And I said, sure. And he was, his words, he was nervous. And I'm pretty sure it was like drinking, it was alcohol and ecstasy.
Okay.
And when he got there, he like flung the front door open to where it like bounced off the door jamb and
Oh.
came back. Like, but he like, it wasn't like a dramatic entrance. He like flung it open and kept stumbling. And he stumbled past me, and I was like, all right. I mean, you don't got to say hi to me. It's not like you got to kiss the ring when you come in, but I was like, welcome to my house.
Right.
And he kept going, and he was like, okay, obviously he's messed up a little bit, but I left it. And then 2 minutes later, my security came and got me and said, hey, your neighbors are at your door. And I was like, the party's been going for an hour. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the 4th of July. What the fuck
Yeah.
you bitching to me
Complaining
for? Like, my neighbors and me are cool. So I go out there, and they're like, hey, we don't want to interrupt, but a guy just parked his car in front of our house, and it's like smoking, and the entire side looks like it was just drug along a concrete wall. And they showed it to me, and they're like, we saw him pull up, and he got out of the car, and he fell out, and he stumbled to your door, and I was like, oh, shit, shit. So, we were probably harboring a fugitive at that point.
Yeah.
But we let him stay, and then he tried to sell drugs, so he got kicked out. He tried to sell drugs numerous times. Because at one point, he's a nice guy. He was just trying to give them away.
Yeah, I was going to say, wasn't he giving them away?
Yeah, I think at one point he tried to capitalize on it and sell. So,
Yeah, he's in the episode.
Yeah. Donald escorted him out, as Donald does. But yeah, it's fun times. But that was the worst. Other than that, everybody else, a couple girls would get drunk. But at my parties, especially if you do them during the day, I don't think anybody wanted to embarrass themselves in the industry.
At least they try not to.
That's it's like almost a work.
That's
function.
always the goal, is to not embarrass yourself. But sometimes.
But you let that party go into the
every day.
night. Yeah, after 8 hours of it going on and drinking and ass, titties, and dicks everywhere. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
So sounds like fun. Sorry we missed it.
You did miss it, and
Sorry,
like
we
I said,
didn't
I
know
haven't
about it.
forgiven
Yeah,
you. I'm sorry,
That
Wayne.
was strategic.
Yeah.
Next
That was
time I'll
strategic.
message you instead of him.
Yeah.
Don't tell Wayne. I'll have to go. So I'm trying to think. When did we meet? Do you remember?
Face to face.
Yeah. I'm sure we talked online at some point, but when did we meet?
We talked online in 2019,
Okay, cool. All right.
if I'm not mistaken.
Spitting Game Tour back then. Gotcha.
Yes, and then we actually met in 2021.
Okay. Was it
Yeah.
hot tub thing? Was it through Krystal Clark?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
I
yeah.
believe so. Yes. Yeah.
See,
feels
it's
like
the
a
only
long
industry
time
you
ago.
can be in, the only lifestyle, the only job. You can when did we meet? I know we had sex the first time we met.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a few
yeah,
minutes,
but-
but when was that?
But that's,
When-
it was
yeah.
so
Was it my
unmemorable,
hot
I didn't
tub?
even
Was it-
remember.
Yeah.
I think our
Like-
very first meeting was actually the boat thing.
Really?
I'm pretty sure
Boat
it
day?
is the boat day. It might have been, I don't know, maybe it's the big
No.
No,
big pool
my birthday
orgy.
party was before boat day,
Oh, shit.
so you were there. But I think you did a hot tub live with us.
The big one.
Yeah, that might have been it.
The big one.
Yeah, 18 people fucking I cranked my pool up to like 101 degrees, so it was a hot tub technically, but it
It
was a
became
massive
a hot
pool. It was
tub.
an 18 people live orgy.
Well, everybody stayed in the pool. So.
Yeah, it was fun. Well, yeah, because we shot that in March, and March at night in Vegas is quite chilly.
Yes.
So yeah, we had to do that at night, or we had to crank. That's why I cranked the heat up so much. It just got a little hotter than I thought it would. So tell us about yourself. How'd you get in the industry?
Oh, wow.
When did this happen?
So it's a long story. I feel so old, but yes, I am old.
Stop
I
it.
started doing content creation back in 2006. Back then, it was
Damn.
just called sex tapes, and I sold it through other means, through email. I was in the swinging lifestyle, so I was a member of AFF, Cassidy, SDC,
Okay, I
and
didn't
people
even
would
know this.
ask me for my content that way. And so, or they would watch my free live shows back then, back in the days.
It's one pixelated live show right there. Hang on, it's buffering.
But we would have like thousands of people watching because it's free, of course. So, so I've always gone live. I've always filmed things, but not in a big way like now. So from 2006 in 2016, OnlyFans started, and I started with OnlyFans then. When the pandemic happened in 2019, that's when I turned pro because the market got saturated, of course.
Gotcha. Okay, so
And so I started filming mainstream then, and here we are. But me going pro is partly I went to Vegas to meet up with someone through the lifestyle, and that person was an aspiring porn star and asked me if we could film, and he filmed, and I guess it went big on his end, so he kept asking me to film with him, and finally, back then I was wearing a mask.
ooh,
For the films,
you were
I
one
was
of, you were
still
one of those
teaching.
people. Yes,
I was
guys,
still a
that's right. You just
teacher.
heard that. She was a teacher.
Until I got fired. Then
Oh,
I'm like,
I didn't know
fuck
that.
the mask, take it all off, and I went for it. So
Were you fired for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna go in on that.
Yeah,
How did that
that's-
happen? You got called into the principal's office?
it was I did
Bow
well
chicka
it
wow.
was it was
Yeah. Apparently, you weren't that eager to keep your job.
It was the district that actually called me. It was an angry wife whose husband is subscribed to my OnlyFans and
Gotcha.
took pictures down out of my stuff and sent it to my district anonymously.
Gotcha.
So,
Wow. So not
I
even
got
like a
called
student's mom or like
No,
another teacher's husband
no.
or something like that. It was just some
no, not
fucking
even my
bitch.
students. Not my students'
bitch.
parents. They sent it to them, and so they called me in, and they were showing me the pictures, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
God, my tits
Yep.
look good at that angle.
Yeah, that's me.
Look at that ass. Do you see that ass?
So they technically just
Superintendent
asked me to
so-and-so.
go. And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I'll go quietly.
I was gonna say, when you're wearing that mask, you've been like, prove that's me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Go ahead, watch it again.
That's actually always been kind of my safety net with mine is neighbors, people in the civilian world that I would traditionally worry about, like finding out about what I do for whatever reason. I was like,
Yeah.
for whatever reason I would, be worried about them finding out. I was always kind of like, yeah, but if you say you saw my stuff, what kind of sick mommy stuff are you into, motherfucker? Like, this isn't like you just saw me
Yeah.
casually having
Right.
gonzo sex on Pornhub. Like,
You're watching
you want to
my
fuck your own
kind.
aunt, don't you? Yeah. Let's talk about how
Yeah.
you found it first. Like,
You got a very specific
what incest
search
Russian
criteria.
site were you
Which
on?
one? You're more fucked up than me.
That was actually one of kind of Coco's defenses when we got started because we were in the Bible Belt in Alabama when we got started, and we were in a small town,
Yeah.
and that was always something she kind of thought about. And it's not like I knew all, but I was kind of like, well, if they admit they know who you are,
Hey.
then they got to admit what they're jerking off to, especially back then, because
Exactly.
we were allowed to shoot whatever hardcore taboo stuff we wanted to shoot back then. So it was
Yes.
really like, oh, you got
Yep.
some sick fetishes, don't you?
Yeah, so like I actually was. I normally don't do any prep for the podcast, and I mean we've only done like 5, and they've mostly been like people that we know that I
Right.
hang out with often, so I
Right.
know them.
Yeah.
And although we've met and I'd follow you on Instagram, I didn't know that much about you, so I tried to like Google you, and there's like nothing but videos really come up, So of course, like, but then there is one thing comes
Walk
up.
into the room and wait.
Wait,
I'm
what?
researching.
Right, yeah. For one thing that did come up is called Babepedia, I think, and it's
Babepedia,
like it's
ooh.
like it was like a Wikipedia for porn stars, but it was like nothing I didn't already know. You know what I mean? I follow you on Instagram. I already know, like, I
Right.
know how old you are. I know, like, that you live in Vegas. I know the type of porn you do.
Yes.
However, they did have some things wrong. It actually said like in the business since like 2019 or something like that. Like
That's when I turned
and
pro, so that's what they're probably referring to.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, because even I would think like even like the OnlyFans stuff would count as like being in the business in 2016. So I just saw that and was like, okay, well, I think that's wrong.
I
But-
could see them going that route though too, because like
Some people don't. There's a
They don't
big
qualify.
category.
Yeah, they don't
Content
qualify.
creation
Like,
is not qualified as
I'm-
porn stars and things like
if you want
that,
to say like
so,
that first
yeah.
porn I did in December of 2014 doesn't count because it's rough. I don't mind saying that, but it's like I had my big thing I've talked about on multiple podcasts when I dropped the changing room scene with
Yeah.
Helena Price. That one thing went viral. To this day, I'm still not nominated for anything. I don't qualify for a category because I guess what it comes down to, from what I've been told, it's a box cover.
Okay.
So if you don't have a box cover porn or something like that can get released,
It is
they don't
changing
consider
now.
you industry. Now,
It is
since then,
changing.
I think it was 2020, that was the first time they had like the amateur or the
amateur-
independent category or something. It's the
It's the
independent.
creators.
Yeah, the creators category, which like it's so frustrating. Like the group of us that are in there, and it's like if you matched us up against most other people, like we would
Right.
win most categories, but you guys got to play dirty, so you put all of us in one category to fight it out. And
I
if
think
you put anybody
now-
else in this category, we'd smoke them. But yeah, you got all of us fighting it out for one award,
One award.
out of like the 40 nominations they have every year at AVN. Like we have one category, but yeah. So anyways, I could see them saying like, yeah, 2019's her first box cover. Doesn't matter what she was doing in Cam or OnlyFans or any of that shit.
Okay.
Exactly.
Understood.
So.
But you bring up the title porn star. Like that's not necessarily. I remember when a porn star was actually a star, and
Yes.
now like you got girls that
I feel-
call
I feel-
themselves porn
yeah, I feel
stars
weird.
because they have an OnlyFans, and like even though it doesn't make any money.
Right.
Even if it's a girl who actually, not to shit on girls who get in and out, but even if it's your typical girl who gets in for 3 months, gets
yes.
shot out in the industry and gets out, it's like, were you a porn star or Were you an actress in porn for 3 months and bailed? Like,
Or a
did you
model.
ever
You were
build
a
to the
model.
point of star?
Right.
You know.
So
Yeah.
actually, more what I was getting to is, even though it's a general topic, but it's something that could be discussed. Why is there not like a Wikipedia for porn?
Used to be Hot Ones. Used to be Hot Ones.
Ones?
Yeah, that's the closest I've seen to a Wikipedia porn, and I have not kept up to date on that for a long time. But that used to be the Wikipedia porn.
I guess nowadays people just go to like
Yeah, it's called Twitter. That's
right
Well, that's
Twitter
I agree with you.
or
I agree. Yeah.
they go
tweet-
to hot movies or AIBN and they look at everybody's profile there, and that's if you actually submitted something to them, because if you didn't, whatever they want to say about you is what they say about you. So
Yeah, I've read some of those bios on me.
right.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yes. He started making porn in 2019. He's from Las Vegas, Nevada. Grew up in Las Vegas, and I was like, well, not even
up.
close,
That is
but
true,
all right,
yeah.
cool, yeah, whatever. So, with how long you've been doing this, it is kind of tricky to ask the typical question.
Sure.
So maybe we can go with your first pro shoot. First time on set. What was that like? Was that because like I said, it's a little different for you because you were doing so much before that it's not the same story we get from a lot of girls where it's like
I'm trying to
Nerve-wracking.
remember which one is my very first one.
a lot of fucking being done.
No, actually, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this one. I think my very first pro shoot was a glory hole.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't even sex
Seems to be
parties,
tradition.
just sucking dicks. I sucked 11 dicks, and they all came in my mouth, and I had to swallow them. I had to be careful not to make them come really fast.
As you do.
We have to, take
Yeah.
our time. But
Stay on
me,
top
when
of
I
that.
see a dick, I'm like,
Right. Yeah. As you do.
We all
not
get
just
that,
my
yeah.
hands get excited, my mouth too. So I was like, sorry.
Yeah,
So,
I get it.
So when I got to the 11th one and that guy finished, I was like, I was looking for the next dick, and he's like, Krystal, it's done. Oh, okay.
Cameramans, don't look at me like that.
I was like so disappointed. It's done. Everybody came. Jeez. Where's the rest?
Disappointing.
Can't take her nowhere.
That's what I say all the
Yeah,
time.
just like
I mean, they couldn't just like order you up some more.
Right. I think they had 6 guys available, but they were supposed to be for the gangbang, and I'm like, they can recover.
yeah,
Right, sure, yeah.
Time to shoot up, boys.
Time. Shoot up.
Yeah, what is that like? Have you ever had a pro shoot? Maybe professional, maybe like an amateur shoot, but have you ever had a pro shoot where just the poor guy wasn't able to rise to the occasion?
We had one that, had to reset, I guess, but I'm a very good team player.
Snake whisperer over here.
So he needed to, because he
Little
was
food out.
getting really hot. He was getting really hot, and so I told him,
Yeah,
I said,
he
instead
is
of
not
us
going to help the boner.
instead of us trying really hard, go take a quick cold shower. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have a hard time getting back up, and I'm like, don't you worry, I'll get you there.
Yeah, trust
And I
mama.
promise,
Yeah,
and he
just
did
mama will
that at
take
least
care.
3 times.
So the answer is no, basically.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think I've been very, blessed for getting good co-talents that, and like I said, I'm a team player. If I need to
Follow
help
the
out,
routine and what they should do to work.
right? I'm the lifeline. So yeah, just dial that number.
The amount of in my humble opinion, the hardest working person or the hardest part of this industry is definitely going to have to be the male talent a lot of times, and it's not easy to do. And I'm not even real male talent, but the amount of guys I've seen show up for my girlfriend's shoots, who I'm just like, what made you think this was going to work? Like I was, I'll say her name. I don't remember his name. I don't even know if he's still in the industry, but Helena Price
Yeah.
was going to shoot a series at my house, and she had her own male talent coming. And homie shows up an hour late and was not drunk. He was completely sober, ready to go. Had a little bit of liquor breath, so that wasn't great when we met. But had been day drinking at like one of the pools in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So he'd been out in the sun all day, had alcohol in him, and couldn't figure out why that dick wouldn't work.
It's just the sun.
Yeah,
heat.
yeah. Mixed with, I'm sure he didn't pop a Viagra. I'm sure because he was a younger guy, so I'm sure he thought he didn't need it. And I mean, if he didn't take a Viagra, he wasn't shooting anything in his dick either. But yeah, I've seen a number of those. I've seen a lot of amateur guys crash and burn who don't think they need Viagra, but it's their first shoot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, it's one thing when you're fucking your chick in your room. It's another thing when you got Krystal Davis looking at you and you got sweaty Kyle Balls hanging over you with his belly resting on the back of your head while he's trying to get the shot. Like, it's time to shoot up, bro. Get your head in the game. It's game time.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes, the guys actually have the hardest job. And, I do strap-on sex, right? So
So that's what's happened if you can't perform, fellas.
I put that dick too, and I'm telling you, the thrusting alone is already difficult. Now think about it that I have to keep my dick hard, which is I'm blessed. I didn't have to because it's always hard. So I give props to the guys all the time. I always tell them, you guys have the tough job. I just sit there and be pretty,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one of my parties a while ago, years ago. Eddie J was there, and he's got a pretty stellar reputation, and especially in Vegas. I think he had. I don't even know if he had. I think he'd moved to Vegas because there were a couple.
He is.
Yeah, but it was like when he was first went out because there were a couple parties. It was actually pretty cool. Me and they got to know each other. He actually drove out from LA to be at the parties, but I think this party might have been like one of his first ones when he moved to town, and. We talk about it in a Life of Balls episode that it's like, within 5 to 10 minutes of Eddie in your house, you're going to see his dick because he's going to be naked. And it's not even like he's a dick, like trying to whip it out, be an asshole. It's like just instant sexual harassment from all the models because Eddie's cool. He's safe. Yes. He's not going to be a dick and he's kind of professional. But I mean, every party I would have, just Eddie getting sexually harassed to the point where like, I've told the story a million times where I had to go pound on a bathroom door because one of the parties we had, we only got 3 bathrooms and you got like 100 fucking people there and everybody's drinking, everybody's got to pee and someone someone's fucking in the bathroom, and I knock on the door and it's like. I sometimes say 3. I think it was 2 naked women stumble out of the bathroom, followed by Eddie, who looked very confused because he was heavily stoned. And I was like, dude, there's like 4 bedrooms. Go fuck in a bedroom or outside or in the living room. And he's like, Kyle, I swear I just came in here to go pee. And they came in behind me. And he goes, the worst part was I still haven't gotten to go pee yet. Like, now my dick's hard. But no, there was one time he had probably, I think he had come a bunch already that day and he'd still shot. And he's sitting naked next to my pool. His legs are in the pool. His ass is right on the edge. And 2 girls are vigorously blowing him, like in an aggressive manner. There's a third person filming. Eddie is laying completely back, on his back, eyes closed, just his dick is straight out, and they're working it. And I don't think it was eyes closed from pleasure. I think it was eyes closed from exhaustion. Just like, oh my god! Like someone walks by and hands him a joint so he can keep puffing while he's just sitting there getting just like there's no sensation or feeling left in his dick at all at this point. He's just That's just pure Viagra right there, keeping us in the game. But yeah, Eddie's yeah. No, as Donald says, nobody has more fun at a party than Eddie. He just kind of floats around the room.
Nobody has more fun than Eddie. I remember that.
Yep.
Where is Michaela Cox? You don't shoot with her anymore.
Michaela is to the best of my knowledge is in Vegas, and me and Michaela had a few shoots, and then she was I don't want to put too much of her personal information. She was a new mom, so she always had to worry about her kids and everything like that and finding sitters. And then also Michaela was very, very nervous during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
There was, if you were working with her during the pandemic, you were isolating, you were getting tested, you were getting COVID tested before a shoot. So there were a lot of things that would fall into play that with my other shoots happening, sometimes I couldn't meet her standards. And then once we moved, or once obviously I relocated to Florida, I think it's once again with her family situation, everything like that. She can't just pick up and travel for 4 days to come down here. She's got the kids and everything to worry about. So we haven't actually talked in probably a year and a half. Wow. But it seems like she's shooting more. Seems like she's doing stuff more now. But yeah, that's it. So no drama or beef or anything. Just different sides of the country now.
Schedule was,
yeah. What else should we talk about, Wayne?
I don't know.
Wayne is someone who don't know me well enough. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
I
tried to prepare. Short of sitting there and watching 2 hours worth of clips. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think I was going to learn anything about it. I don't know.
I've got questions, and obviously answer as much as you feel comfortable with.
Sure.
Managing porn while being married and having children. How are you doing that?
Oh, yeah.
How does that work? How does How does that make the birds and the bees conversation go a little differently?
So, as I started with all of this, as you know, from the swinging lifestyle, I've always been married, and my films are always been like the hot wife thing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for me. I don't have to pretend because it is actually my life, and so it's a lot easier for me to do my content or to do whatever films they make me do. Being a parent, my children, they're older, so they know what I do, and they're very supportive. Actually, my son would say to me, you know, Mom, can you please stop getting featured on Pornhub because I can't go watch my porn. And I'm like, sorry, son, go to the other side. It's like, you're there too. And I'm like, you know, I try to hide it from them, not because I didn't want to tell them, because we've always been open. You know, I'm an open mom to them. But I was trying to protect them from the other people that's going to say something to them. And when they found out, they were just like, okay, so tell me all about this thing. Do they really do this? So they have so many questions about it. They've been around a lot of porn stars that I've had at my house. My son helps me sometimes with my expo. So, you know, it's a lot easier when everybody knows what you're doing. I don't have to hide anything. When I'm packing, I have all my stuff out, and I don't have to do it in closed doors. They can just come in. I always just tell them, you know, enter my room at your own risk because you might see something, and, you know.
That's cool. That's actually a really cool approach. I mean,
Most of the girls we've had on so far are not mothers, or they are mothers to young ones.
Right.
I think like the next 2 or 3 are, you know, true MILFs with teenagers and up.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a question I hit them all with, like, how does that conversation go? How do you start that? Because, I mean, the boys and girls are going to have to take this differently for different
Right.
ways. I can only see it from a boy's point of view, and I'm like, well, thanks for ruining Pornhub, Mom. Like,
Exactly.
gotta make sure I check no Asians when I go search porn. Talk about an instant boner killer.
yeah, you have to
Yeah.
set up filters for
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
porn searches. You know,
Who do you filter out? My mother.
And my partner has always been my cameraman, so from the very get-go. So he's always, you know, watching me and filming me at the same time, and he's the one who kind of critiques my work.
Gotcha.
And then does my editing, and so it's a family business now, I guess.
That's always fun, having to critique the work of the missus.
oh yeah,
It's like,
Hence why me and Coco only shoot a few times a year.
This face that you made,
Yeah.
maybe not
Yeah.
so much.
I feel like you could have got his balls in there too.
Right.
I was terrible.
His sign language is like, talk more.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you're enjoying yourself, but can you say something? You know.
Well, yeah, got to keep it interesting.
Right.
Right?
When we got started, Coco wanted to have fun. It wasn't for work. She
Right.
just enjoyed doing photo shoots. But she was kind of new to it.
Right.
And I'm not a photographer. I tell everybody this. I have good equipment now, so I can make a photo look good. But, you know, half of what a photographer does is like direction. And Coco would see a picture and she goes, God, that looks terrible. You got to help me more, hon. And I'm like, I don't know. Do better. You see what you're doing right now? That's not good. Like, I don't know how. I'm not a photographer, so that's what I thought of when you said critique. And I was like, oh God, I remember so many fights, so many ruined
Very
Saturdays
true. I
over
agree
fighting
with
like that.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, that face is
It's like,
stupid.
change your face. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
could you
okay. And then
see
he
what
would,
you're doing? Yeah, stop that.
yeah, he would sit me down and he's like, look, watch. He'll flip the pictures and I'm like, you see your face? I'm like, yeah, they're all the same faces. You know.
Sorry, someone just asked, Filipino?
I am part Filipino. I'm Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, and Spanish.
What? Just got everything covered there.
Oh yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So you can't miss it.
Yeah,
There's
right?
so much.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Just
never-
get one right, you'll be fine.
So you also can't really be miscategorized.
Right. Exactly.
So, when it comes to the personal life, with how much you're working, are you, is it an uphill battle to keep the sex life good at home? Or do you just have that insatiable drive all the time?
Pretty much insatiable, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta at least come several times a day, you know, or else I'll be cranky.
Just needy bitch over here. Just needy
Right.
bitches. Fucking-
So, but the good thing about it is
Needs are pinky.
if no one's there to take care of me, I know how to take care of myself. So
Gotcha.
I remember for a Life of Balls episode, we had interviewed some girls in the pool, and we interviewed them. I remember in the.
I'm sorry, I think.
Yeah, she was there, and all the guy was like, "Why'd you get into the business?" And everybody's like, "Money, money, money." And she was like, "I just like to fuck."
Yeah. And I got paid for it.
I was like, "That's the best reason ever, right there." I love that one.
Exactly. And
They're
you
gonna pay
know,
me for this shit?
that's the reason why I got into it. I said, as long as I'm having fun with what I'm doing, I'll continue to do it. And I am having fun. I'm having the time of my life.
Good for you, hon. That's awesome to hear. I hear so many, girls that get into this industry and they get taken advantage of, and have a bitter, experience, and then trash it. Even when they're in it, they'll trash it. Yeah. So it's nice to hear someone.
I do have a lot of, some of them are still here, and some of them are done with porn that I kind of take under my wings and try to tell them, what not to do and what to do so that they don't get taken advantage of. Some of them didn't listen to me, and so that's the reason why we're no longer in the industry. But some who did, they're still here and they're doing really well. So, I guess it's just the mommy in me. I want to take care of.
I think it's the good person in you, because I don't have a mommy instinct, and there are so many people that I have tried to help over the years that, because they come to you and ask.
Yes.
And I, especially when I got in, no one would help me at all. No,
Yes.
me and Coco were just left flapping in the wind.
Really?
And
did you ask anybody?
How do I
Was
even
there anyone
ask?
to
That's what I'm
ask?
wondering.
Yeah,
who do
I
you
would
reach
throw
out to?
comments out to be like, "Hey, can you tweet back at me?" But
Yeah.
And get nothing.
yeah. So and then then I blew past a lot of them, and now we're all best friends. Right. Now they're coming up to me. How you been, man? It's great seeing what you're doing. I was like, well, thanks for not returning that message back in 2016.
Right.
Would love to have gotten some advice and friendship back then when I needed it. But yeah, especially at Vegas with all the new people we would meet, the young people.
There's a lot of young ones.
Was a
out
little
there.
bit. I won't lie. I was a little bit more standoffish. If it was a couple or a guy, I was a lot more willing to help.
Right.
The new young girls, especially because I typically shot MILF, like my expertise were already at a
Right.
minimum with them on like what I could do, and then it was
Right.
like first thing I tell them all is like get an agent to watch your back. But then again, it's like how many? There are so many agents in almost every agency. It's either the agent doesn't care and basically lets the girl get fucked over, or the agent is the one doing the Harvey Weinstein thing. And like, you have to fuck me. It's just like, so it's hard to even give girls that advice, like get an agent.
Majority of the ones that I actually try to advise are with an agency, and they couldn't handle it, so they left.
Yeah.
And they're done. So,
So agency bad.
I mean, there are some good ones out there, but
agency bad unless you are your own boss making your
When you
own
know,
money. When you
yes.
don't need to grovel to them.
oh yeah, you don't need to.
That's the big thing. But a lot of girls get in.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, a lot of people get in. I'm talking about more girls. They don't want to work. They don't. I mean, yeah, they want to stay in shape, but hell, when
Yeah,
you're
right.
18, you can stay in shape.
Right.
You're
young. You can
alcohol and
always lose it,
cocaine,
yeah.
and you're in shape.
Exactly.
So they don't. But they don't want to. They don't want to work. They don't want to grind. They don't want to. I mean, I admit I have help now.
Yeah.
And I have built the foundation to where I don't have to do as much. And Wayne is helping me. Like, we're still growing because of Wayne's
Right.
help. But like in the beginning, fuck. Like, how to destroy your body and your marriage? Start making porn. Like, oh my god, like destroy your. It was fucking 16 hours a day at a desk.
Oh gosh.
Editing
yeah.
like crazy and like, hey, let's destroy my dick by shooting 4 days in a row and see what happens there. And like, like you grind that shit out to get there.
Do you
but
sometimes look and say, "Did it fall off yet?"
there's been a few times I had to go to the doctors. There's been a few times it got a little too tore up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change up. I had to change up a few different things, and even then, there
You
are
didn't change that up, right?
No, I had to. It was a different type of soap that I wasn't using the correct soap after a
gotcha.
shoot, and human fluids from
Right.
any type of person
Right.
on my skin, on my dick skin, would turn my dick to paper mache.
Oh shit.
So I needed to
Ouch.
change up. I was using like good quality soap, but I had to get a completely different type of soap, and that would just allow me to heal.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting like micro tears all over my dick after a day or two of shooting, and the Viagra side effects are just awesome. Are you coming? No, I'm dying. Like it's like four near heart attacks, I'm sure. But yeah, so I mean, learning how to do all that. Plus, then, like I said, I'm my own cameraman, I'm my own producer, and then I'm my own editor, marketer,
Right.
and all that shit. So, Coco's a fucking soldier because she held in there for a long time. She was she was a single wife for a long time. How long she was putting up with shit with how hard I was working. So yeah, that's, and it's not really entirely the case because Wayne knew me back then.
Yeah.
But when I tell everybody like, how'd you get successful? I was like, I used to be skinny. That's different, you know. But
It's a matter of editing. And
I was
making
probably
at the same
80
time.
pounds lighter than what I am right now because of fucking just not sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah.
You know,
All I
not that
can
I eat
say
great,
is
but
if
you know.
your fans love you, they love you however you are. I'm like, look at me. Old and I don't know what
Oh,
else.
stop it.
Oh God, you look great.
Yeah.
Like, when you told me originally how old you were, like a couple years ago when we met, like I was like, "There's no fucking way. Like, there's no way that chick's older than me. There's no fucking way."
Yeah, I feel it in my bones. But
I feel it in my patience.
Yeah.
that too.
That's what, okay, so I'm telling a Krystal Clark story.
Right.
You know, most people know at this point she's my little dark apprentice.
Right.
You know, she's taken everything I taught her and ran and now
Doing very well.
Yeah, and still best friends. Still, we talk every day. And now there's the friendly shit talking. There's like, oh, competition now, girl. You don't have to. No, we talk. But she texted me the other day, and she's like, "I've totally become you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "I tell everybody the plan of what we're going to shoot." And then somebody's like, well, what if we do it this way? What if you just shut up and do what I tell you? That's the thing. And that's, man, when I got in like 2015, 2016, 2017, I was like, no, what do you think too? Like, I want your opinion. And like
Right.
now at 2023, I'm like, shh. Just do what I say
yeah.
and we'll make money. That's all I need.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's if I like you. If I don't like you, no. Anything else? Cool. Do what I say. And she did that the other day to someone.
Oh,
she
she
did
did.
that, and she's like, "Oh my
I
god,
can see- I
I'm
can
truly
actually-
becoming Kyle." And I was like, "Yep, there you go. That's how you know you're successful when you can
I
shut
can
up,
actually see her
Shut up.
face saying
Do what I say.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
or how about no? There.
How about no?
Yeah,
She gives you that face, but
yeah, no.
Somebody asked again, what's it like staying in the Kyle Balls mansion? Like, what is this, like a bot?
Where is the mansion?
That's what I'm
I
wondering.
want to know. Where did they
I mean,
hide
there-
it from me?
There are some near us,
That says yes.
but that doesn't really qualify us. Like,
yeah, so it's the funny thing is I got to your house with the Uber. It's like, are you sure that's the house? I said, I'm like, yeah, I see the two stuff in the front. I don't
The
want to say
lions?
the lions in the
The
front.
lions
I'm
in
like,
the
yeah,
front,
that's the house. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's like, it's a mansion because I get lost in it.
All 2,500 square feet.
I'm gonna tell you, I do get lost inside the house. I don't know which corner to turn and how to.
there's only two sides,
Yeah, there's the West Wing where the employees stay,
right?
and then there's the Master Wing on the other side.
Right. And the office in between.
Yeah, the office and
the
theater
screening room.
There you
in between.
go.
Yeah, the screening
Yeah,
room
it's
can
like-
be cool. The screening room.
You know how many times it caught me in that candy
the
jar
candy-
already?
Oh my God, little candy thief.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of
Every-
showed her how to open the door.
So that's. I was actually giving you props because I was like, how'd she figure it out? Like,
Yeah, I told.
you
It was
showed her.
Wayne's fault.
Yeah, how many times I'd hear that door open and I'd poke my head around the corner and she's coming out with a handful of like Micanites, like a fucking.
M&M's,
M&Ms, there we
M&M
go.
peanuts, and then I do a
I mean,
little
I
bit
figure
of
it's
the
got to be.
regular.
It's
It's
like
got to
when
be
you catch a
piling
cat
up though.
doing
Like,
something.
it's not like we're in there all like we used to be. So I figure it's got to be piling up.
No,
Around
between-
wintertime, we
between
spend a lot of
her-
time there.
Just look at
Well,
it when
okay.
I'm gone.
Because she's the first. This is the first time she's here, but the amount of girls who are more in our area who we see once or twice a month, they pull up now. And it used to be the door would swing open and they'd have to rush to pee because
Sure.
they just drove into us. Now the door swings open and it's 50-50 if they're running to the candy or to pee first. Like, but one or the other, both will happen in the first few minutes. Like the theater room has really just become the candy dispensary room where
Right.
occasionally we watch TV.
Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to it like that.
Yeah, no, I go
I
around
go in
the
once a month
chairs.
with my little checkboard on what I have to reorder and resupply because we're fucking running low on shit.
I'm like,
taking,
on the other
inventory.
side, I'm like,
Yeah.
which one do I get this time?
Yeah. Decisions.
Too many.
I'll come back for this stuff later.
I always think about it, but I never do. And I'll be honest, it's because that door is a little bit of a hassle
Not for me.
to go
I
with a
was-
handful of Reese's Pieces, and
I've done
See,
it. I've done it too, where I'm like, no, you fat ass. Like, no, don't do it. And then
I
as
always
I'm
have
saying
to
no, the
have-
door swings open with Pops coming out with Twizzlers or something like
Yeah,
that. And I was
yeah.
like, okay. Well, now that it's open, it's,
yeah.
Gonna get
Well,
some,
see,
yeah.
now that it's open, it'd be weird not to go in.
I said, well, what's her name? This is Krystal Davis.
Hello.
But yeah, I try not to be fake or lie to the fans and everything. So for
You
official,
try not to.
I try not to. Yeah, I really don't want to be accused of being fake. So yeah, being honest with the fans. I don't have a mansion. I have a nice house.
Yeah, that's
I've
nice.
turned it into a nice house. It's become a nice bachelor pad. But in the end, it is just a. Technically, now we can say it's a 6-bedroom, but it's really just an official 4-bedroom that I've done a lot of work on and converted and everything like that. But yeah, not a mansion. Although it has gone up like probably close to $300,000 in value.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean,
That's nice.
like
Well, I love it. Like I said, I love the doors, the hidden doors.
yeah.
When I finally got a hold of, how to work it out. But, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
small
have a
and-
guest room. I have to put my guests in the dungeon. Yeah. Or they have to sleep in the theater room. I don't like that's that. I feel like a mansion would have all of those things plus a guest room.
Right.
Hey, dungeon
Yeah.
is my place. It's my safe place too. So
Yeah. So
that's where I was during my birthday. So I was in a dungeon.
and I feel bad.
By choice, of course.
By
I'm sure.
choice. By choice.
Yeah. We're not talking Turkish prison here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this is a naughty dungeon with a red light and a swing.
Yeah.
and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about trying to get a Murphy bed installed where that mattress is, so the mattress can fold
just
up,
go up,
and
yeah.
more room for activities in there.
Yeah.
It's the plan. I think I'm gonna repaint the whole room red. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be next on
Nice.
the list because the yard's pretty much done. You know,
Nice.
then repainting that whole room red and putting the Murphy bed in would be the same cost as getting my wine rack put up. So I think I'm gonna go with the
The Murphy bed?
Murphy bed.
yeah
the wine rack. Oh, okay.
wine rack and repaint the room red and I don't know. I thought about even doing one of those like the fake brick wall. Giving it more of a dungeon feel.
Oh, sure.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
medieval
yeah.
stone
Sure,
type thing.
yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Just why not?
That'd be interesting, but also kind of pointless. I don't know.
I'd use it more if I could
Would you?
if I could do the Murphy bed fold up.
Well, not the bed. No, I'm not talking about the bed. I'm
yeah,
talking
but
about the rock.
then I would film in there more. I'd shoot more stuff in there. I'd have more
Totally.
stuff to do with it. So that's why I've thought about like, well, maybe I should just fucking do that to get more use out of it. Because honestly, for anybody who's listening, I do use the dungeon a lot for personal stuff, and I call it a dungeon. I think the proper term would be red room because there's not a lot of
Cages.
there's not a lot of dungeon like.
there's
I'll
some
do
windows on the wall,
BDSM.
but-
It really
The
it is
red
just like
playroom, yeah.
the Sibian is set up for whoever wants to ride that. There's a doggy style bench, which is a lot of fun. There's a sex swing, which is amazing, and then there's
Yeah,
an
the
extra
swing's
bed in there for
awesome.
fucking like it's basically a sex room that is always set up. It's just when you say red room, people don't know, but if you say dungeon, even squares
There's
are like,
more.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's sex dungeon. Like, especially because like normies, if you say dungeon, they're like, what do you got fucking
Yeah,
slaves?
someone's
What's
tied
going
up
on?
in
Like,
it.
what are you doing?
so I keep my
Chained up in there. Although when he closed the gate outside the room, I was like, "Can I get out, please?"
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I do that sometimes too. I come out of my room like,
It's your
what
little escape room. Look, figure it out, girls. Let me know if you can get out.
Luckily, I can actually just step over them though. So.
Well, you see how
I know,
tall,
I know.
short I am. I
You
shouldn't
can
say
just
how
get one of
tall.
us to pick you up. And
Right.
Put you over.
I was like, "Get me up."
Dog proof, porn star proof.
Daddy.
That's exactly what I say. Can I get out, Teddy?
Yes, for anybody who's wondering what that is, we have these little room dividers because most of my fans have seen my dogs or whatever, but they are
As big as I am.
well, they're especially the boy. His balls dropped, and he's pretty aggressive. He's a Caucasian of Charka, and there are certain people like he didn't get to meet Krystal too much as a puppy, so he only gets supervised visits with Krystal, or the rest of the time he has to be locked up, or Krystal has to be locked up. I won't let him
One
be
of
alone
us
together.
will be.
Okay.
And I have those little room dividers that they're more like baby gates, but they stop the dogs. And Krystal couldn't.
I could not step over it.
Gonna have to hit the little call
Because
button.
it's like this high.
Kyle, let me out.
Yeah.
It's this high, up to my waist. So, and I'm a shorty.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. What's your plans for the future? What's going on there?
Actually, that was going to be my question.
I'm sorry, Wayne.
Sorry,
I stepped
Wayne.
on your dick.
So, what is your question?
Yeah, Wayne's question.
Well,
is-
obviously,
yeah.
Well, like, what do you have any aspirations like for the business, or do you just want to keep just? I mean, obviously, you're gonna fuck forever, but I mean, like,
Very true, and I hope so. I can fuck forever.
90 and still fucking.
right? Yeah.
Gonna have her own genre.
Yeah, Actually, I've been dabbling with producing some stuff, directing some stuff. I did an international film for Track Patrol, which I directed, but I also starred in because they wanted me to be in it. So I'm wanting to actually get into more of that, like directing things, because I do have a lot of stories, perverted stories in my mind that I want to put on paper and on film. So I used to write some of these things. And I used to have notebooks and notebooks of things where I would just write a story or a fantasy that I have. But the bad thing is I've already done them in most of my films, but now I want to just continue doing it some more, and maybe some other people act it out. So I've produced some DVDs that are mostly with me in it, but I want to start producing them that does not include me.
You say that.
Yeah.
But you're as horny as I am.
I am.
So it's like your first time you produce, you're like, wait a minute. I'm not getting any?
I do.
And then
so
you're like, fuck it. I'm starring in all my own productions now.
Maybe if there's 5 scenes in a DVD, I'll be in one of them, and the 4 I won't be. But right now, if it's 4 or 5, I'm
your
all
off-camera
in it.
fluffer. That's what she said. Yes. Male talent, come see me in my office.
I'll still be the team player. Yeah, so
You go, girl.
I have I think I have about 6 or 7 DVDs out there. I started in 2021. I have the Milker, Black Poles Love My Holes,
Volume 7.
the Nasty Nurses,
Nasty Nurses. Ooh.
Transparenting 101. What else is there? I have 2 more. Mommy Makes 3, which is all my stepkids. I have about a couple of dozen of them. And then
It's
what
collecting
else?
stepkids.
I think it's my full service maids. So yeah,
Gotcha.
6.
Sure. My maids are not full service.
Oh, you know.
Yes.
No.
Well, you didn't hire the right person.
Yeah, I did. Not as many of those fun options in Orlando compared to
Oh,
Vegas.
really?
Yeah, not easy to find
can always-
topless barbers or maids in Orlando.
I can always fly over and do
Yeah.
a full service. I clean everything and anything.
God bless you.
That's why we love you.
Yes.
Thank you. Don't you laugh?
So, Vegas for the foreseeable future. Like when did you move there?
2020,
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you come from?
Texas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I never actually knew that. For some reason, when I met you, it just had you as a Vegas girl for like a decade or something in my head.
Well,
But
I was
I'm sure you were traveling.
Hawaii, then Texas, Hawaii for the longest time, and then Texas for about 8 years. And then because when I was in Texas, I would always travel to Vegas. So I was in Vegas at least once a week every month. And then so I decided, okay, since I do that anyway, might as well move there. But when I moved there, I started going to the East Coast, so Miami.
Ain't that how it works?
It's like, so
Well-
it doesn't really matter where you live. You're always going to travel.
Yeah, like 6 months after I got in Orlando and settled, there was like probably, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was like 10 to 15 new girls in Vegas all reached out to me.
Right.
I was like, where were you bitches
Yeah.
fucking a year ago?
Yeah.
Like, now you guys bug me for shoots when I'm not there?
I've been wanting to get here, but I've always been in Miami. At least I've been to Miami at least 4 times in the last year, and then the year before that some more.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We're second place to Miami or third place really, because girls go to Miami and Tampa all the time. At least you like knew. Maybe you got it from Krystal. Maybe you remembered. It's okay either way. But like the amount of friends who I talked to, in Vegas that I talked to 6 months before I moved, I was like, I'm going to Orlando, and get hit up from like Eddie, David Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, like, hey man, I'm coming to Miami. Let's hang out. And I'm like, it's
I'm not in Miami.
not in Miami, and it's not exactly down the street. Like, it's like I'm coming out to
4 hour
LA. Why don't I
drive.
come up to San Francisco and hang out one afternoon?
Right?
It's like it's not exactly.
It's not the- yeah.
But yeah,
You're like catching an Uber
Yeah.
up here.
I'd be pissed if.
yeah, right. But it's just that at least you knew. Most people still like, man, I'm going to be in Miami next month. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
I
I'm
hope
not
you
very
have
far from that.
fun.
Yeah, Southwest, $50. Hop a flight. Come on up.
Yeah.
Hang out then. Go see Mickey.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the draw that I thought it would be, to be honest. Living in Orlando.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, fuck, you're right next to Disney World. I want to come out and hang out." And they don't give a shit. But having grown up a theme park nerd, this is my dream. I live right next to Disney World.
You know, to be honest, I have never been to Disney at all.
Not
I've been
Disneyland or
to Universal, but not.
Where you can tell we're
Disney.
theme park nerds. We're like, oh.
Yeah, I
that's-
know.
that's-
But I don't think I was
Who hurt you?
even. I don't think I was even wanting to go. Like, it doesn't.
No, yeah, it's just
You
if you
know-
don't have a desire to go, I don't blame you. There's people who either love theme parks or they hate them.
Hate 'em, yeah.
Maybe
and
when I was
understand.
younger, I would love to go to the roller coaster, but now it's like, oh hell no! You all go, I'll stay here. I'll sit.
Yeah,
down.
also there's a big difference between people who dig those kind of parks, like
Right,
adventure
right,
parks, and
right.
people who like theme parks like Disney and
Right.
Universal. 'Cause
Yeah.
those are more tame, you know.
When I
whereas, like,
went to Universal, I actually wanted to do all the other stuff, but my kiddo didn't want. He was like, "It's too hot," and I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
oh,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. But the heat is a bad one.
Yeah, that's why I've
like-
noticed I tend to be more excited about us doing theme park episodes like October through March.
Yeah.
When it's cooler, yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Because it really. Because anytime I'm doing a Life of Balls episode with a bunch of you girls, it's like herding fucking kittens. And,
Not me.
Yeah, and
I'm
then-
always like, yes, okay,
and
right
then,
here.
then paying for everybody to get into a theme park, and like as soon as we get in line, it starts. I'm thirsty. I want alcohol. I gotta pee. Are you hungry? And it's like this line's gonna be an hour and a half long. Please
gotta
just
stay here.
just put my headphones in and start listening to an audiobook while they just continue to gab, and Wayne has to film.
Sorry, Wade.
Yeah. Hey, I managed a strip club for years. It's second
the
nature
same
to me.
thing,
I know
yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I was telling her the other day, I was like, man, the boat things have been so hard to put together here because, I can't drive the boat myself and all these different things that I was like, maybe you and me should just fly to Vegas and rent the boat again because that boat was so cheap for the day.
That pontoon thing you did? Yeah.
Yeah, and just stock it with the Vegas girls. Like, do the pontoon boat out there because getting the yacht here is such a pain in the ass. And
I'm
it's
sure
so,
it'll be
like,
so
it
much
would
easier.
probably be cheaper
Yeah.
to rent a hotel for 2 days to fly to Vegas for you and me and then rent the boat out there than it would be to rent the boat here.
Out here.
Yeah.
And
And
get
not
12
be
people to
sure.
come.
Yeah. Because both of them are 12. I know that's something to do with insurance. I figured that out. But out here, there are no, I can't rent a boat and drive it.
can't
I have to have a
yourself.
captain.
Out here. Yeah.
Whereas in Vegas, which is
the first
alarming.
one,
They're just like, good luck, have fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay.
They're like, no one's gonna.
It's not like the waves are going to get so bad they start coming over the front of the boat.
Yeah, no, not at all. Well, until they do.
Yeah.
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 Until they did. Well, of course, I remember that. Everybody was terrified. And then there's Krystal on the front, like, hold me, Jack. You know, this bitch is going to drown.
I was more afraid with the slippers or the shoes are all like getting
that
washed
was
off.
some.
I was like, wait.
You guys kind of see it. If you go back and watch that boat episode, you kind of see it, but we weren't filming as much by then. But when we were coming back in, the wind picked up. It was still sunny and pretty, but the waves started to come over the pontoon boat. And I would say at one point, like 45-foot long boat, probably close to a fourth to a third of it had
Yeah.
submerged in the water. It wasn't sunk. It's just like we plowed into a wave and that
Yeah.
much water came up over the front.
There was
And-
enough water over the front that it had that green hue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Yeah,
the water's
yeah.
deep, you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And like all the stuff that was on the ground floated
like
up and started to
floated,
float
yeah.
towards as the water started to
Yeah.
recede and everything. But it was great. It happened 2 or 3 times. And I remember on the third time, I started looking at the shore like, I can make that swim. And I remembered I told myself if the water came up one more time, I was going to tell, because Donald had a little nervous look on his face. Donald was sitting on the bench that had the life jackets.
Right.
And I was going to tell him, get those out and hand those out, and then tell everybody to get to the back of the boat so we
Yeah.
can kind of keep the front up as much as possible.
Right.
I was getting ready to, and we managed to
Because
make
we
it
were
back in
all
that.
in the front too.
Yeah. We managed to
taking
get back into
pictures.
the canal. But
Yeah.
most people were having fun. And
Was there anyone who wasn't?
no, at that moment, the girls, everybody had a few drinks. Helena was intoxicated upside down at one point.
Oh, she was fucked up before
Yeah.
we got there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Most people were having fun, but I felt like me and Donald and maybe Wayne, and then Coco was kind of a
Starting
boat
to
girl
learn,
back in the
yeah.
day, started to realize like, this isn't good.
Yeah, this isn't right.
We're going to make national headlines. 14 porn stars drowned today.
Like me.
It's like, anybody fancy a swim? But yeah, I will say that. because there was a sandy beach 100 yards over, and the waves were getting so bad that I was this close out. I was gonna just turn us into the beach and rev the engine up and ram us up there and go like, call the boat company, they can come get us. Like, I'm not gonna fucking let this thing sink and just ram it up onto the shore and let them come pick us up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if we had called the first time it happened, they probably would have been like, "We'll be right there."
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, at that point, it was more like, no, I'm not going to risk everybody's life. Let's just ram it up on shore. They've got a crew that'll come out and pick us up. Like, they're not going to let their boat sit out here.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have my credit card, so I don't want to hurt their boat. But yeah, anyways, we've thought about doing the another boat
You
day out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier.
There's a lot more females out too over there that way.
That is one thing I have missed about Vegas compared to Orlando. Is I actually in Orlando in Central Florida, I have a huge group of friends now, and it's pretty awesome. But for anybody to come over and party, it's a 2-hour drive. Then they got to decide if they're going home for 2 hour, the 2-hour drive home, or if they're going to stay over. If anybody's had a drink, then they got to stay over. It's just, you can't Uber home. It's not down the street. Whereas in Vegas, an Uber anywhere at most can cost you $40 to get anywhere in town.
Exactly.
So I do kind of miss that. I can't. I used to be able to say in Vegas, I could kind of do like my porn stars assemble. And, because there were so many hot tub lives we do where you'd have anywhere from 6 to 10 people.
Right.
And it was like I planned this at 2.
Yeah.
I texted people at 2:00, and at 7, everybody was showing up because everybody's sure, especially at night because it's like I already did my shoot for the day, so I'm cool. Yeah, I'll come over.
Yeah.
And,
soak in the hot tub.
And here, some of my Vegas friends come out and they're like, "Well, let's do a hot tub thing," and I'm like, "That's a lot of moving parts. I got to plan. Half the single moms I know got to find babysitters. They got to drive the 2 hours to get here. You got to factor in traffic and shit like that." Yeah, it's a lot bigger of a headache. And the girls here obviously they want to be paid because. Fucking 6 hours of their time when you factor in driving, whereas in Vegas they're like, just put the kid down, husband's home, I'll Uber over really quick. So I miss that. That is miss my friends, miss that, miss a little bit of the nightlife. That is it. I don't miss the weather.
I'm not such a nightlife, but the thing about the reason why I decided to move to Vegas is just like that. The reason is, hey, I had a cancellation. Can you come? And so easy to
somebody
get.
Drops out.
Somebody drops out. You just can you fill in and fill me too?
I had one shoot in Vegas. Everything was good to go. Popped my Viagra an hour before the shoot starts, and the girl calls me 20 minutes later and had a legit family emergency. And had to cancel. And even on my end, I was able to call a girl, and she literally. I remember we started shooting 15 minutes after I was scheduled to shoot the other girl. Like how quickly she was like, "Yeah, cool, we'll be over in a minute." Yeah. I mean, like you can't do that here.
Yeah.
I had one of those for a pro shoot actually, and the guy just I don't know what happened, didn't call or I don't know, overslept or whatever, and then they called someone. We got him in an hour. He just said, "Hey, is it okay if we wait for an hour?" And I'm like, "Where am I gonna go? Like, I'm all whored up." So, sure. So we waited for an hour, and then we got the scene done.
Yeah, and what we were talking about too with the nightlife, like I don't necessarily miss the nightlife. Like obviously Wayne would laugh his ass off. I was like, "Oh yeah, I miss partying and going out." Like, no,
What nightlife?
But it was the opportunity to go do fun stuff for Life of Balls that was like there was a wider variety. In Orlando, it's either a family style event, which you got to be careful, or Orlando has a lot of hipsters, like a lot of hipster bars, and I'm just meh. Not exactly,
that doesn't really interest me.
Yeah, but like even if you weren't going to do anything particular, it's like, hey, we filmed one episode where it was just like us walking around Bellagio, grabbing drinks, walking around Bellagio, the pool, all that. Like so that
and then
I kind of missed.
That what do you call that?
Yeah, that was a whole episode too. It was just the Bali's Eye or the Las Vegas, the giant Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
the Omni.
Yeah,
Omni, right?
Maybe no, Omni's the club.
No,
that's a club in San Diego.
It's Vegas too. It's the Caesars one.
What is the? Gosh.
It's Bali's. It's the Bali's Casino, but I don't know.
But it has a name, and I swear it starts with an O.
The high something.
High roller.
Oh, the high roller. That's right.
The high roller. Yeah, there you go. Hey, team effort.
But yeah, like I mean, Caesars. You could film an entire episode just wandering around Caesars with how fucking big that place is. So that is something I do miss a little bit compared to like Orlando. Somebody was like, if you guys thought about doing a Universal episode or something not too long ago? We were like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we filmed like 20 episodes at Universal.
Yeah, I've seen them.
We've done so many
I've
theme park
seen-
episodes that instead of doing Universal Studios with the girls, we're like, this one was Star Wars Land, or this was this, or Harry
Right.
Potter Land, because it's like we can only do like so many Universal or so many, So that is
general,
something that I'll admit I miss a little bit. If you guys keep subscribing and make me more money, maybe we'll buy a second place in Vegas. We'll buy a condo there or something like that.
The mansion in Vegas now.
Mansion in
We're
Vegas.
working on the mansion in Vegas. Okay.
That's just we'll do a condo. I don't think that
Yeah, I
to
think
afford to
that's
support 2 houses. I'm not Dan Bilzerian. I ain't got that kind of money.
Then again, the way
And
property
also
prices
you-
are going up in Vegas. I don't know if you want to.
That's why I already knew.
But
That's
you're
why I was
also
like, I gotta do a
gonna have-
condo. My $450,000 house that I lived in 2 years ago, I think sold for $800,000.
Yeah.
Shit.
And that house, was adequate for what we wanted, but
But also, you're going to have another house manager if it's that big, too. So, yeah.
yeah. So that's why I was like, nope, condo,
Yeah.
condo with a maid service.
There you go. Nasty maids.
Yeah, there you go.
Nasty maids.
That's a maid.
Actually, that's
I've actually, because I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not really keeping it a secret. Hopefully, in the next 6 months to a year, I will have a strip club open that I'm partnering up with somebody on, a adults only co-ed nude spa that I'm
Nice.
partnering on, and a bikini barbershop. Those are the big ones. I'm still working towards a bikini coffee shop. I'm trying to find someone who's got the barista knowledge to partner with, so I don't have that yet. But those are the goals. And
I was once a barista.
I run
I
into,
know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
I run
There's
into
so
I have
much more
tons
to
of
it.
porn star friends who are like, I'm a barista, and I'm like, you have a job,
Right,
You know,
yeah,
like
this is-
your career is blowing up. You're not quitting your career to come fucking sling coffees for me.
yeah, in a
You know?
bikini.
Yeah, like I mean,
They
when
make
you want to
good money,
retire, or if you
though.
want out, like we can talk. But like, yeah, I'll get that from girls like, oh, I used to be. It's awesome. Are you quitting your job to come? That doesn't help
You're
me.
going to do this full time.
But and then the other one I have thought of is the lingerie maid service, because Florida is booming, just with everybody, even with the governor doing crazy shit and conservative this, that, and the other. But Florida is still booming, and there's a lot of money here. Like in Orlando
So,
itself, there's a lot of like disposable income in Orlando,
Yeah.
plus the tourist crowd. So I have thought about like, God, if I could find a girl who's got previous management and maid experience, like every business I think up, I'm always just like, okay, regular business, just put them in bikinis. I can charge 30% more.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
because it's girls in bikinis. So I have considered that a few times.
Sounds good.
Because it's just, Wayne will until you go drive around these neighborhoods in Windermere and it's just mansion on top of mansion. I'm like, a lot of these guys got to be single. A lot of these guys,
Or, yeah.
would
Or
pay
with
the money
sugar
for
mommy.
would pay the money for a bikini service, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, they can't all have families in them.
Yeah, or the families are out of town. That's cool. Whatever,
Yeah,
whatever
right.
works. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
float your boat.
Yeah.
And he needs to get the house clean before the wife gets back.
Exactly.
You know, why not? Why not make it a show too?
Do you remember the Entourage episode? Vince is depressed and they get him breakfast in bed. It's
Yeah.
the 3 girls or whatever. I'm like, that was genius. It's fucking genius. One reads you the newspaper, one feeds you, and one massages you while you're still in bed in the morning. I was like,
Hey,
yes.
That's the life.
And he sent the girls away, and he's like, I paid $2,000 for that. And I was like, okay, cool. So I know the price point. I paid $2,000 for that.
Yeah, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's why I was
That
thinking,
show
like,
was
bump it
20
up to
years ago.
$3,500 for
Yeah.
the VIP deluxe morning package.
We have tiers of services. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. How many
That'd be
girls are we
great.
looking at? What do you? That was fun.
Well, the only thing people keep asking on Instagram is, what's her name? It's the same guy who keeps asking, what's her name? And I said it, and then he doesn't bother to like scroll up, or maybe he was, looking at his dick at the
Yeah,
time.
he's
when I
jerking off.
did it,
It takes a lot.
Sorry.
yeah, so
Multitasking.
we already mentioned Krystal Davis.
Somebody asked if we were going to work together. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, fucker. I'm
Asked like 5 times.
Yeah.
So finally I wrote, yeah, they already shot together. And then his next question was, is that available already? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's magic
Yeah,
like
we-
that.
I wish, guys. Trust me, I wish, but no, that's.
We have been trying to work together for a very long time. It finally happened.
It was always what happened. Part of it was what happened was you and me met plenty of times, but you and me got to be pretty good friends right around like my birthday, 4th of July.
Yeah.
And by that point, like, I mean, those parties were also so fun because it was like, I'm leaving.
Right.
Everybody knew I was leaving, and it just got to be more and more and more. And it did. From 4th of July, I blinked, and it was October, and I was moving.
Yeah.
And I missed a lot of opportunities then. But
I was
well.
also traveling quite a bit, so when you were free, I'm like not home.
So depending on what the camera missed, if all goes well, hopefully you'll be back out for another shoot. But if not, we'll see you at AVN.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be partying it up.
I'm pretty
have the
sure I'll
audio.
be around this way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I will be around more.
Yeah, factory. Even if it's just a day or two,
Yeah.
swing by Orlando, say hi, get naked, do naughty stuff, and go home. Yeah, it
That's
works.
easy.
Cool. Wayne, do you have anything else to add?
No, actually, I'm good.
All right, cool. Well, depending on when this drops, it might be 3 months after Exotica. But
No, it's-
either way, good luck at Exotica.
Thank
I want to
you.
get them out quicker, but
Yeah.
So
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, Krystal. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you
Wayne,
for
you did
having me.
awesome as
always.
As always, man.
And thank you for doing the research.
Yeah. You
I
actually
tried,
You actually were way more prepared than me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you picked up the slack because I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about.
But I mean, I can only watch
Yeah.
so much porn.
Yeah.
So Wayne, I guess I have a question. What's your favorite
My favorite what?
movie of mine since you did your research?
Actually, I'll let him answer that question. I have one more question really quick before we
Okay.
go.
I don't really. I didn't really watch any of
You
them.
browsed through.
I've watched them
Okay.
before back in the past.
Disappointing.
I was running somebody's account that you had videos with, so I'd
Okay.
seen a lot of them. Probably
Okay.
when we ran Eddie's. When I was running
Gotcha.
Eddie's
Oh, yeah,
account,
yeah.
I probably
Me
seen
and
it
Eddie,
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you which of those I was,
Yeah.
like that was.
Yeah. I always ask because people say, I'm your number one fan. I said, okay, so which one's your favorite? And they can't name it. I'm like,
It's like, I don't know. I never can make it to the end.
great.
Yeah. Right?
Weeds. Is that Ass Blasters Part 3? I've never seen the end. Neither have I.
Neither. Do I have to have seen Ass Blasters 4?
I think it was Krystal Clark I was talking to the other day, and so I'm asking Wayne this question. Sorry, when are you going to start shooting? Because I think Krystal Clark said she'd work with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
wow.
So no pressure.
No, none.
Yeah.
Shit.
On top of being my editor and running multiple OnlyFans accounts
And
running
the
my
multiple
podcast
naps I take
and
a day.
and my YouTube channel and everything like that. When are you going to work more? Wayne?
I was
get off
actually-
your ass and do more shit.
When am I going to do more shit?
Yeah.
Well, there's some things I want to, I think I've said this before. I want to make sure that I'm done. Have done
Bucket
beforehand.
list kind
yeah,
of thing?
and straight. Well, first of all, like if I shaved all my pubes for the first time. I'm 48 years old. I've never shaved all my. I've been shaving my balls since my 20s, but I finally did the whole thing. And I was
Gotta
just
narrow
like,
that, bro.
I didn't realize like that I haven't gotten razor burns since I was like 14. This doesn't happen to me.
I could have told you that.
So that's a little bit of a problem right now. It's going away,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's also just weird to have to shave that now, and
Yeah.
so there's that. And I got to get tested, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now that I put you on the spot, other than that, I think we're good, guys. Thank you again, both of you, and
you.
for you guys, balls out.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.